Down here in the bottom left-hand side, an overwhelming favorite in their head-to-head. Representing the Juggernauts, it is MeomaikA.
And in the bottom right here, represented by MeomaikA, representing Malaysia, this in the red is Ranger.
Oh my lord. Meo going straight for the gold base.
Okay, I'm in for it. Let's go.
Adepts can come across the map and they can pick off units from behind the gold minerals, which is one of the main things you want to look out for. Sometimes people build a spine to defend it, or they just keep the queens up against it and just rely on pulling back drones as they're in trouble, getting link speed out as needed. See the player cams down there. Meo on the left with the blue border, Ranger with the red border, and that's because he's playing the red guys.
Damn, Pig, your analysis.
I'm pretty high level.
I'm like, I get jealous of how handsome, good-looking, and good of a commentator you are. I'm like, oh man, I wish I was as good-looking and handsome and fit and as strong as Pig. And then you drop this analysis. I'm always looking for holes. I'm like, when's Pig gonna mess up so I can say aha and then correct him and look smart? I can't do it. It's utter perfection analysis from you every single time. Really quite tilting as a co-commentator. Very emasculating.
What can I say? I've trained for this, Maynard. Yeah.
Like, this is my passion, Maynard. I do nothing but cast StarCraft all day. Oh my god, my allergies. Is that cedar? Oh my god.
Well, you know what? Range is allergic to Zergs that suddenly are mining way more than they should be. And I think he's going to feel some pressure to do something about it. So far, he's got what looks like a Stargate pylon on the left of his main base. That's also a Nidus spotting pylon, of course, preparing for the future. Just in case, does see some cheesy build orders. Going to be, yep, Stargate will come out. Now, obviously, this is not the gold base on Pride of Altaris. It only has 6 mineral patches. Even when fully saturated, it only gives you the same amount of mining as a full base. The difference is you have to build 4 less drones to get there. Now, interestingly, Meo is not transferring a lot of workers down here. He's just kind of letting them naturally build up. And I think that's partially because he, of course, does go for the quick ling speed, the Zerglings, and all that sort of stuff coming out. So, going to be interesting to see what Ranger's next step is. Ooh-wee, 4 lings going into the main.
Right.
Going to cause some trouble.
That's certainly one way to start it for a Zerg, is to just walk straight into the main base of the Protoss, see everything, and probably get some probe kills too.
Oh, probes in the natural do take out the Zergling, but it leads them in a circuit.
Oh,
a nice
wow.
micro by Ranger. Hasn't lost any probes just yet. I think the Zergling did go down there. This Adept over at the gold base, of course, being defended by the Queen. Good micro by Meo to pull back the weak workers, and the Adept has to pull back and regen her shields. 4 Zerglings go down, not a single probe. Has he reset his mining in the main, I wonder? Oh, here we go. Adept goes back in.
Still no damage on the probes. It looks like a couple of lings are coming in to chase that Adept, who is a little damage from the Queen.
All right, yeah, Ranger's handling this great. He knows Ling Speed's ready, so he's going to hide in the top of the map. He's got Oracle on the way, maybe slightly delayed due to all that chaos, but not by much. Batteries on the way as well, a very good safety precaution against Meo.
Yep, definitely worth it.
Ooh-wee. Oh, you're going to have to wall that off, bud.
Adept's come back. Is Meo paying attention back at home? He doesn't have time to worry about the Adept. Yeah. Adept actually got cycled back for the healthier one.
How did he manage to do that without the Lings getting in? Well done, Ranger.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. If you push the Adept back, you would have thought that he'd leave a gap for the Lings to stream in.
Yeah, maybe the Lings weren't being microed because they were distracted. It looks like the Adept did go down at the gold base, and oh, he's actually going to be able to kill the Queen?
Yep.
Oh, no, this is huge. There's no other Queens anywhere nearby. This is massive.
It absolutely is. These probes are just going to have to run, and while they're getting running, they're getting gunned. They are just going down one at a time here to this Oracle.
Oh, my God. This is a mess for Meo. And remember, Meo only builds 1 Queen a base, doesn't spread creep, so he can't really move around to defend there. Of course, the Oracle does need to leave before the Spore Killer kills it, but another Oracle is here. Oh my God, the Spore's not quite done.
I'm sorry.
Devastating.
I didn't mean to laugh. I feel bad for Meo, but this is just
devastating, man.
Oh, baby. That's just sometimes just the way the cookie crumbles.
Dude, he was really relying on the Zerglings forcing the Oracle back. If Ranger didn't go for the shield battery, he had to pull the Oracle to defend. So that's what Meo is banking on. If you look at this, you're going, what idiot doesn't have a Spore or Queens in the main? You got to remember, this is a calculated risk that Meo took. If there was no shield battery, which 90% of players would not have, especially against a gold base, then he could have done so much. But look at this, Oracles, they don't have much energy. Could kill the Queen, but only 2 of them are turned on right now.
Has to disengage here from that Queen. The 3 oracles easily beat these queens, but they don't have enough hit points. They're pretty bruised from earlier.
Yeah.
Or energy.
Oh, Meo, he's got the gold base. That helps the recovery. Definitely able to just pound out a lot of units. Robobay's on the way for Ranger. So Ranger is definitely going to go straight up to the very powerful units. And nice
catch,
Oracle snipe. Very well done.
Yeah, these oracles have certainly slowed down Meo, but he's not done just yet. He's not out of this game, not by a long shot. He's getting, I'd say he's certainly Ranger's taken an edge, but Meo's starting to get a little bit of one back by picking off some of those zealots.
These oracles are a bit too active.
Yeah.
They really need to actually save their energy so they can leave it on longer. Zerglings do get cleaned up. They took out 3 zealots. It's not bad. And the oracles will pull out. Seeing a Roach War in there for Meo. He's building more Zerglings once more. Queen's moving around to the rear side of the gold base. I think it spread some creep tubers there, I guess. Yeah,
the gold on Blackburn just feels like such a liability.
Yeah, it often is.
Yeah. Maybe like in... I'm trying to think, like maybe in ZVZ it's okay for the most part, but that's a weird shade.
Oracle's in the main
one
at
of
the
them
same time, and he loses one for just 2 drones. So yeah, I mean he's keeping Meo's economy low though with how active he is. Ranger does build an Immortal. I think it's going to be a Colossus right behind that. Remember I talked about how a Colossus is so good against him because he's so Zergling heavy, but it's a big investment this early in the game. You don't even really need range on it. You just kind of need it. He's actually going to go straight Disruptor. Interesting.
Okay. I mean, Meo has been very public about his weakness to Disruptor and not liking it a lot. It's definitely a good unit to have against his playstyle. It didn't stop him though. Like last time someone threw them at him, and it was on this map too.
Yeah, T-Ball was generally way behind in some situations in terms of army, but there was a few fights where the Disruptors just did not get the big hits that they were looking for. It's kind of funny. There's so many Zealots. Ranger's just like Zealot's the cheapest unit that beats Zerglings. I don't have charge. Who needs it? You know, just defend the Zerglings. That's all that matters. He's going to attack into you. It's only when the Roaches come that you need an answer. So slow Zealots and Disruptors apparently is the counter to the heavy Zergling play that Meo does. Meo's Roaches are coming now, and I don't know, dude. Ranger's moving out. Remember what I said? Ranger likes to be aggressive, but he's got to defend right now. Meo's so far behind on income.
Yeah, this is going to get weird pretty soon here. This Ranger heads up to the north side. Meo's going to see it with his Overseer.
Oh, man. This is about to get so strange.
Roach speed and +1 going to kick in just as these Roaches hit the front door of that third base.
Oh, the Chaos is usually going to favor Meo. Ranger is good in these sort of scenarios. Pops a Guardian Shield randomly there.
Yeah.
He's got to make it. He's got to make a decision. Recall, maybe?
I mean, his army beats these Roaches, no problem. Yeah, he's going to go for the recall, coming to the third base.
Yeah.
Meo, he's got a lot of Roaches. Is he just going to engage here?
Disruptor.
I don't think he can. He's going to go for the Disruptor at the back. Does he deny the Nova? He does not deny the Nova. The Nova connects. He loses so many Roaches there.
Okay, that works out for Ranger. He did lose 9 workers, which was not great, but he's got a gold base coming up. Blink is on the way. He's into Blink Disruptor. Meo. Remember, he took massive harassment damage earlier in this game. I don't know how he's back in the lead in both workers and army supply until I remember the fact that he's only building Roaches and they suck.
Remember the last time he can't disrupt us? He's just like, I'm just going to keep making Roaches, though. I'm just going to keep making Roaches. Disruptors are good against Roaches. What if I made more Roaches, though?
Meo knows how to micro good, man. He dodges things. He's played dodgeball before. He's happy to play it again. He's willing to take those risks.
Certainly is. Spreading creep too. Wow. Meo must really be feeling the heat.
Roach is going to go around there. The 2 Stalkers will get taken out.
Yeah, good catch on those.
I like the Colossus swap. Adding Colossus in, very nice.
Yeah, that was
the
the problem.
Archons on that, it'd be huge.
Like in Meo's earlier ZVPs when he was massing Roaches against Disruptor, I was kind of like, I feel like a Colossus could be really, really good here.
Yeah, you need something to get rid of the Zerglings and just add ranged firepower in general, right?
Oh, this Oracle's in trouble. See you, mate.
So yeah, off the side of the map there with all those Wraiths that are flying by. Charge is on the way, as is a Baneling Nest. Now, Meo not one to go towards Broodlords. He might go Hive. Usually that's his next tech from this situation. Infestation Hive for Vipers. He said he's still not the best with the micro of them, but he feels that even just by going Vipers, his opponents stop building Disruptors as much. So he's like, mission accomplished. That's all I want.
Bit of a whimper of a Zealot run by, a little flaccid on that Zealot run by. Stalker's coming in to engage Roaches, but there's so many Roaches here that, and he doesn't really care. He's just killing probes.
Oh, those probes really should have pulled back from there. Big mistake from Ranger. Ranger should have pulled the probes and it would have been fine. Battery overcharge was good, but definitely losing 13 probes unnecessarily. I still think Ranger has the better army, but as always with Meo, I feel like you're best waiting to max. Like, just add Archons, add Storm, add Colossus, beef the army up, and just defend for now, because he doesn't have a late game. Meo just does not play late game. Like, we never see it. Maybe one day he'll surprise us with Ultra Broodlord, Viper, Infestor, Spore Crawler, but until that day, I don't think he can do it.
Oh, that's going to connect. Oh, not.
Oh,
I thought Meo
off.
wasn't looking at his army there. Just in the right time. It's in the nick of time, I should say. Another lack of probe pull here from Ranger means another big kill of probes. It does feel like Meo's army does suck, though, Pig. Like, that's what I'm concerned about here for Meo. Like, yeah, he's getting a lot of probe damage here, but if Ranger decides to grab everything and go, I think he'll do a pretty good job.
I mean, it's 11 minutes 20, and he's starting his infestation. He'll have 14-minute Vipers, mate. It's not fast tech by any means. And Ranger will max out. I mean, remember I said Ranger's going to have trouble because he likes attacking? And he almost got in trouble when he pushed towards the gold, but now he's changing his style. He's playing very defensive. He's not giving Meo the opportunities that Meo needs to make Meo's style work. Lings and Roaches can only get you so far in PvZ when you're at max out, and Meo's obviously going to try and push that to its limit, but at a certain point in time you need to have done something. And I've got to ask the question, you know, was this the right map pick for you, map 1 Meo? Obviously you were hoping for a better opening with the gold base. Instead he fell behind off the opening, so I guess that explains it. But Meo with a bit of an F2 there.
The overseas just went straight past him. Oh, he's catching target firing some of those disruptors down. I think he got 2 of them there. That's definitely a nice pick off for Meo. Very high value target. He's still got so much tier 3 rover to deal with. Oh man.
Oh my god.
Brutal.
Zerglings get slaughtered. They do absolutely nothing. The DTs will get caught on the way home, funnily enough.
Well, when you F2 back, the overseers come back as well.
Hey, Maynard, if your opponent has Colossus and a Max Protoss army,
yeah,
does Zerglings counter that?
What about 62 Zerglings?
Do they have 1 Colossus and 1 Zealot?
Unfortunately, yes. So the 62 Zerglings might as well be 0 Zerglings, right?
Yeah. No, this one should be over. The Banelings will need massive hits. With the Archons coming in, this is huge.
We were just talking about F2s. I think Ranger should be able to F2 here. And the Banelings do need to be respected a little bit for his front line, but the Novas are going to be something that's tough for Meo to deal with. But the Colossus, the Force Field potential, the Archons, big problems here for Meo.
Yeah, Ranger expertly built a lead for himself. He built this massive lead. He's got a huge army. He does need to push with it at some point in the next 3 minutes. But like, it's such a big window.
Trouble, but yeah, it should go now.
Might as well push. Big flank coming in, but it's coming through the slow zone. That's not good. Oh, the Disruptors whiff. Nice baits by Meo. Oh, can he land the Bane legs? Oh my god! Oh, huge!
Yeah, the Banelings get some pretty decent connections here. That Force Field, though, taking most of Meo's army, or at least half of his army out of the fight. DTs and Zealots sitting top left. Ranger still with most of his army intact. MeomaikA is remaxing, but with Roach Ling, Pig. I have to reiterate, like, it's a lot of supply, but it's a lot of supply in not great units for this phase of the game. We're even seeing Immortals here along with those Archons and more Disruptors.
Oh, Ranger's rallying Stalkers. This is the huge mistake. He should be making nothing but Archons, Colossus, Immortals, Disruptors here. The Stalkers are the lowest value unit in the game here for him. So the more the other units have, the value comes in. The more Stalkers, the more chance there is for Banelings and Roaches to just en masse come in and maybe find the right angle.
Yeah, Nova's getting some great connections on these Roaches, which are completely off creep. He does get that Master Disrupt there. Yeah, good focus fire from MeomaikA on the right side there. Oh, Ranger starting to wrap around those Roaches on the right. The left side coming in, going for that Immortal. The Disruptor whiffs on the left side. Meo's trickling in some Lings. It does feel like he's running a little dry on supply here. Ranger also losing a lot, but there's not enough for Meo to continue the fight. And Ranger squeaks out game 1. That felt a lot closer than it should have been.
Oh, Meo looking a little tense there. Having to have a bit of a shakeout after game 1. That was, of course, terrible. He really wanted the Zerglings to pin the Protoss back. Ranger with some fantastic adjustments. An early shield battery, just allowing him to basically say, Oracle go straight across map, Oracle kill Queen, Oracle win game. That is essentially what it came down to. Those Oracles got a massive lead, and Ranger played very smart from there. Slow Zealots, just warping in Zealots to defend all the Zergling pressure on the third, straight to a couple Disruptors, and then rounding it out with the Stalkers and the Colossus and all this sort of stuff afterwards. So it seems like Ranger, with all of that practice he's had versus Mio, definitely has some answers.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct there. Oh man. So the strategies, the calls from Mio there on that game, we tried to play that very similarly to how we played T-Ball. And Ranger just played that little bit better. He just incorporated a few more of those units that we felt like T-Ball was lacking. He obviously did make some misplays, maybe a little bit inactive. Maybe got scared after his initial attack of attacking into MeomaikA, going, wow, this guy's got a lot of units. But really, like, obviously with our camera and with all of our numbers, it's easy for us to sit in our armchairs and go, we have all the numbers, you should attack now, man. You know?
Well, I mean, and we're saying as well how slow the Vipers were, right? So it's like, really, against Mio, how do you lose the game? It's definitely not being patient and going back, like, right? It's stepping a bit too far forward into his den, realizing you got creep on all sides, Baneling's coming in with a 270 surround. Like, that's the nasty situation. I respect the patient play from Ranger. I like the patience.
And it paid off in the end. So we're going to take a short break, guys. When we return, can Mio fight back? The answer is yes, but will he? Tune in and find out straight after the break. We'll see you there. going on, StarCraft fans? Thanks for tuning in to the Oceanic Rest of Asia main event here for the DreamHack Masters main event. That's the M-A-I-N, not M-A-Y-N, because it's not my event. But I am working.
No, that is why we hired you, to be fair. I was going to say immediately. I mean, come on. It's the main event. We got to bring in the big dog for this one.
That's branding, baby. That's branding. That's right. You know all about that. I happen to know that you're very good at your branding because I own 2 pig merch items.
Yes.
One of them says "When behind balance wine," and the other one says "Merry Pigmas," which I've worn on Christmas 2 years now. it's my only Christmas shirt.
Heck yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
I wear that thing for like a solid week of December every year.
Oh, you wear it for a whole week. Nice. Yeah.
Basically, I end up wearing it a lot that month. I don't really. You get looks when you wear it out in the middle of July or something like that. But you know, it is what it is. Of course, we've got some good StarCraft games already.
Yes.
Ranger, the underdog, he overcame Probe, who he'd never ever beaten before in a competitive format.
On a map, nothing. Yep.
He did that yesterday. He's never beat MeomaikA. He's now dominated the first game. Very convincing. Man, change is on the air. Change is on the wind.
Yeah, the times there are changing. What was that? Neil Diamond, I think. But that's definitely what I feel. I was mentioning it yesterday. Just there's something in the air. There's some kind of magic for the rest of Asia here. A couple players are finally having their big moment to just overcome those hurdles, to break through those barriers. Sometimes it feels like you're bashing your head against a wall, and sometimes the wall breaks, Pig, and your head is still mostly intact.
You tickled my obsessiveness, and I had to quickly look it up. I think it was Dylan. I think it was Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan. Oh man, sorry, I don't mean offense to people that like Bob Dylan and Neil Diamond. I know Harstem's a huge fan of Bob Dylan, but I constantly get confused between those two guys. I'm so sorry. I don't know why.
Oh my god, I totally forgot Harstem loved Bob Dylan. I think this is what got me into a phase of like listening to a whole lot of Bob Dylan actually many years ago. Harstem going on about it
No, he did that.
8 years ago or something.
It wasn't 8 years ago for me, but it was like 2 years ago where I was watching Harstem stream, and he was like, he had a Bob Dylan cover with StarCraft lyrics on his YouTube channel, which I've subscribed to for a long time. And I was like, oh, and that got me on a Bob Dylan streak for a bit.
He's a man of diverse tastes, Harstem. Also a big Biggie Smalls got me into listening to a bit of that. Some good stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And we are, of course, about to get into MeomaikA Ranger. It's apparently a small delay, but we're going to get amongst it. Maybe just like a technical problem for the players. We'll get back in there, no problem. But so I was going to say, my favorite Harstem video actually was it's a 2-second long video where the title of the video is in all caps, obviously, because it is on YouTube. And it says, "Is Cyril washed up?"
Cyril washed up.
Yep.
I love this video.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah. I've watched it, and then he just goes, "No," to the microphone. I'm like, that's content, baby. That's content right there. To print that money, send him those checks. It's you know what the most amazing thing about that content is? He's correct.
Yeah.
That was years ago. And who's our reigning world champion?
Exactly.
Cyril, baby. That's it.
The two-time.
The two-time.
2018 and 2022, mate.
That's right.
I guess 2021, I like to say, right? So
yeah. It's the 2022/2021. So like we're doing that weird sort of multiple year season.
But obviously, it used to not be in the end of the start of the next year. So you know, he won 2018 BlizzCon, which would have been, if it was the current format, 2018-2019 season. So 3 years apart, but two-time world champ. Of course, we've heard the countdown. Both of these players would love to get over to Valencia and kick some butts. Chance to redeem himself after the last game went off the rails very early. Let's see what he can do. In the bottom left, representing the Juggernauts, he is an absolute behemoth, a monster for any Protoss in his sights. It is MeomaikA.
And at the top right, representing M8X, representing Malaysia, currently up in the series in the Protoss, it is Ranger.
Pretty standard opening for Ranger, and he scouted early, so just in case the 12 pool comes out. We did see one 12 pool from Meo yesterday. He's very capable of it, and Ranger does not get to block the hatchery in time. Archery goes down right on 1 minute and 8 seconds. I really feel like Meo's build is quite sick. I feel like it shouldn't be as good as it is, but he just, even though he's gone pool first, his expansion gets down very fast. He always gets up his queen. Oh, and he's actually going 6 lings this time. Oh my. Ranger should see that. He's gone Nexus before Cybercore, which is very greedy against Meo. Now, a lot of players, remember T-Bull kept walling off with a Cybercore, right? But I really feel like as Ranger here, you even if you full wall off, will an Adept get out in time to save your like gateway? This is a very scary push, and I think skipping the Zealot is very dangerous.
I do agree with you, Pig. Might be cutting a few too many corners here. As MeomaikA's coming out with a few more units than it seems like Ranger's expecting. There we go, the Zealot starting now.
And Chrono, very well done. It's a little late though, so that's going to delay the Adept, and obviously a Zealot does not beat 6 Zerglings. Those 2 Zerglings do commit to killing this probe, which does of course weaken the pressure. And remember, it is just 6 Zerglings. It's not like this is the craziest pressure of all time. Oh, they get in just before that Zealot is there.
Oh no, Zealot!
There we go.
You had one job, mate. One job. 2 out of 10, see me after class.
He felt bad, you know. He's not going to last long as a bouncer, mate. He should have been saying, you know, you're wearing the wrong shoes, you're too old, you're too ugly, whatever. Pull out one of your excuses, mate. The Zerglings do get in. They haven't found any real damage, but... Oh, red hit point probe. Nice micro from Ranger.
That 1 hit point probe, these lings are just like... That's I wanted.
Dude,
Good
yeah,
control
those
from Ranger.
Zerglings...
Really good work of control.
Red hit point probe in front of a Zergling. It's like putting a big cup of water in front of a man that's been stranded in the desert for a week straight. Like it is, they cannot resist that.
Red hit point probe is basically a big red cape for a Raging Bull. Oh, there's the Twilight Council going down now for Ranger. And he's
pretty late, so it's not like a fast one, but Ranger actually likes doing a delayed glaives into a quick third. So he might try that build order. It's very dangerous against Meo, but Glaive Adept's pretty good at killing Zerglings. Not bad versus Hydras either.
Yeah, the Adept it has that bonus against light. It fills that role as a frontline unit that is relatively tanky. Very, very good against the early game stuff. Just struggles against armored stuff. Really struggles against buildings, but it has its place. And yeah, this feels like a glaive thing. Oh, never mind.
And Caster Cursed.
Caster Cursed. Hey man, I'll take that on the chin. It's fine.
Yeah, that's how we do, man. Oh, okay. Adept's coming on in. 1 drone, make it 2, make it 3. Oh, doesn't get the trap, the spore trick down. And takes out the Zerglings. That means another drone or 2 will go down. Wow, Ranger's harassment is ruining Meo today.
Yeah, this is a crazy strong start for Ranger. And that's just that's just like the first phase of the plan. The next phase of the plan is really scary. Meo does like to have that faster lair. It's just his you know, the way that he plays this matchup generally, going into Hydra Den and that sort of thing means he has got to have access to Overseers, obviously. But you know, the DT does still find damage even when you have detection sometimes. So I'm not gonna call it too early.
Okay. Zergling's gonna go for the Cybercore there. Gonna try and bait that Zealot out of the wall. And, okay, back up pylons. He says, I'll need pylons anyway. Might as well start one now. We'll have to do another structure. If that Cybercore goes down, though.
Adept and a Zealot getting warped in to assist that Bouncer that trying to redeem itself. It actually gave its life for the cause. I think that's good redemption there from the Bouncer. Overcharged shield battery, keeping the Cybercore juiced up. Well done, Ranger.
Here come the DTs. No Overseer morph just yet. He glimpses the Prism, but I'm not sure if he noticed it.
Yeah, he went past it, but I'm not sure he noticed it. Lings are in again. Oh, Ranger, a bit of a miscontrol there.
40T's coming in. There's no detection though, so lots of damage could happen on both sides. Ranger in the main, he's not noticing. He does pull the probes to fight, but a little bit late. In come the DTs. Oh, the roaches are popping at the right time, but most of them pop in the main. Uh-oh, that spore could go down.
I think it will. And the DTs are still alive, so they're going to do some hacking and tearing until that Overseer is done. The Lings are getting lots of probe damage done there, and this Ranger does not even want to mess with it. He's like, nah, I'm going to lose every single DT here if I stick around.
Yeah, which is it's the right call to pull back there. Problem is, Meo has a third. A normal Zerg would hold the drone key down right now, knowing that Protoss cannot even get a third base. Meo is going to continue to mix units. Actually, not even... Yeah, there we go. Mixing Roachling, drone, Roachling, drone, Roachling, drone. Standard setup for him right now. Ranger is trying to just defend his natural, but this is the sort of game where Meo just gets out of control because he's got access to the third base, and for you, it's so hard to get out there.
And he's switching gears here. Now, Ranger has made one tier 3 structure. He's making another tier 3 structure right now. And he's going to be on 2 bases for a very long time. Meo, you know, this attack is not too bad. It's not a whole lot Ranger could do about it. But Meo really can drone quite crazily right now, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was actually caught droning a little too hard. I think he thought the Prism was going to drop in his main, so his roaches were up there. Does lose 4 drones, a little bit of mining time. Could have been worse. The Nexus not being started for the Protoss just takes away the flexibility. Is that a 1 Immortal, 1 Archon drop? That's
sure,
awesome.
why not? Yeah.
Good versus Zerglings, good versus Roaches. Bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both. Porticade and Dos.
Uh-oh. Get back in there!
That's 100 gas down the toilet. Guys, pick off there. An attempt at third base. Looks like MeomaikA is going to get that probe, though.
Oh, this is such a bad position to be in for Ranger. He's going to try and do some counter damage. Meo is got Roachling drone just coming out constantly, though. Oh, good Archon splashy.
Yeah, very nice. Would love to get a shot on those stacked up drones if he can.
Ooh, yeah, the Immortal on the high ground can reach those drones as well if it wants to. It can also pick off these Roaches as they come in one at a time. Don't lose the Archon, though. Archon's very low.
It's dead. Missed
Ah,
micro there from Ranger. Unfortunate.
300 gas unit takes away the benefit of any damage you were doing. So now he's going to go hungry for more. Does start to pick off these drones with the Dark Templar. Can't afford to lose these units.
Gets the Queen, and now he can dance a bit because there's no anti-air unit.
Indeed. Wow, very fancy. He's trying to micro his way through this, but oh god, he's losing units in the natural. Wow. Oh my god, that pack of roaches is keeping him in so much trouble.
Yeah, man. Ranger's pinned up against the ropes here. He's just not had room to breathe. And this is how MeomaikA likes to play this matchup. Just keep the boot on the economy of the Protoss while managing to spiral on your side. Even if he makes bad units, he just makes so many of them. This is how he wants to play, just to make so many of these bad units that it doesn't matter that they're bad units. Because he just has, you know, 50, 60 more army supply than you, and he just comes barreling on top of your army.
You know, Archon drops one of my favorite classic openings, the DTs into Archons. I do it almost every game. I don't think I've won a map against Meo with it ever out of like 40. Like, I'm not even kidding. So I was really excited to learn something this game, but I mean, this attack actually with the Prism there,
yeah,
this might be over eager for Meo. This seems like way too YOLO.
Yeah, Ranger's got very, very good Prism micro. It's his favorite unit, as he's mentioned to a production here. And they're going to get an Overseer, as it doesn't have Glial, so it's out of there. Pneumatized Carapace, sorry. Glial's for the ground boys.
Yeah, Roach Boy upgrade. That's why we just call it speed, Maynard.
Yeah, just say speed. Don't be cute, Maynard.
You know, get the metabolic boost, get the glial reconstitution,
does the Ultras have anabolic synthesis? Nerd. Oh, man. Choke point there. Misses quite a few links.
I was going to say, you don't want to go down that choke point as Meo. Meo immediately runs down the choke point. He's like, I isn't afraid of you.
Oh, man.
Can't make me fear, boy.
All right, well, Ranger's going to pick a different angle here. Going to try and go for the choke point between the natural and the third hatch. This is kind of a triple-pronged defense, though, for Meo. There's like all of his production culminates to this one spot. Feels like a tough attack angle for this Protoss army.
Yeah, at the same time, Meo's not droning.
Disruptor, though.
I mean, you just need to pressure. You don't actually commit. As Ranger, get a second Robo. Like, take a fourth even behind this, which he's planning to. He's just keeping him pinned back and chipping at him. This is awesome play for Ranger. Does go a little too far forward. You'll lose the Immortal.
That's unfortunate. Oh, lost the Archon as well. Uh-oh.
Oh, you went way too far forward. No sentries here.
Disruptor's on cooldown.
No force fields. Okay, one force field finally comes in, but we see, oh, this was a big overextension for Ranger, and he gets punished.
Oh! Disruptor Nova connects all right there with quite a few units, but there's too much MeomaikA. It's a little bit too little too late. Damn.
Remember we were talking about how there's one way you lose to Meo and it's not being too patient, Maynard?
Yeah, right. I remember that.
Ooh,
you said that right.
You know, yeah, I mean, I did. Ranger showed that was his plan in game one. Here in this game, he was doing such a good job, actually. I felt he was way behind, but he got right back in it. Now he's in a disastrous spot.
And Meo trying to split their last second against the Disruptor. The Disruptors have both fired their wad, but unfortunately, there's still a lot more Roaches left over. As they hit that cooldown, there's Lings in the main, ripping all those probes to shreds. And they're in again.
I don't know if there's enough glory kills in the world to deal with this Zerg army, Maynard.
So. No flame belching. He's not getting any armor stacks. Newbie play.
Oof. Oh, nice disruptor shot, Micro. Doing what he can, trying to hang on, but there's 26 workers huddling on that gas for safety. And there's nothing left to protect him. Meo brings it back and says, there's a reason I have a 100% win rate versus him in a competitive series, guys. So what? Noracle caught me undefended in the main in one game. But how dare you doubt me, for I am MeomaikA, and you cannot step on my side of the map without being punished.
That's right. I'm beginning to see why your Archon drop doesn't work against Meos, because it's hard to Archon drop into 15 roaches.
Yeah, it's really... You'd think a guy with no creep spread and no queens would really struggle with the Prism's mobility, but he just always has enough units to get on top of it. His micro is really, really sick. And of course, Meo getting those lings in early was massive. Really got him a nice start there, some good momentum, and he carried it through.
Sure did, and we put ourselves a tied series. You know, if you add the last 3 series that we've cast together, it was actually 3 3-0s in a row. So it was the 2 yesterday before we ended the broadcast in Taiwan. Then, of course, you know, the T-Ball Probe 3-0. And this is the first time in a bunch of series that we're going to actually get an extra map. Feels good, man. I'm ready.
You know what? You know my theory on this, Maynard, as an expert tea leaf reader, you know, smeller of random leaves and incense and all sorts of things, and reading of symbols. You know, there was a bird that flew southward over my house yesterday. And because of this, I do know that when we have really bad days of StarCraft, the next day is really good. Likewise, if we have really good semis and quarters in a big tournament, I'm always really sad because I know the finals is going to suck.
Yeah, the GSL curse, the I Am Katowice curse.
Yeah.
Historically, of course. And you know what? Meo managing to sneak this game away from Ranger. I'm always left shaking my head a little bit, not in disappointment, far from it, the opposite even. Just in disbelief, in amazement, in just in envy, wishing that I could ZVP the way that Meo ZVPs sometimes. Ranger, you know, to be fair, it's not all Meo. Ranger did make some mistakes there. That attack, you know, a little questionable. Very, very rough to make that work.
I think after he defended his third the first time and then he had Meo pinned, right? If he was going Colossus like in Blackburn and doing that whole transition, I think as long as he doesn't get caught out on the map, like just don't shove up that ramp. And you know what happened, right? He hit a queen with a disruptor shot and it was a red hit point queen. And he was like, oh, we're talking about the red hit point probe? Well, he saw a red hit point queen and he moved his whole army like really deep up the ramp, killed the queen and lost his entire army for it. It was not worth it. So Ranger getting a bit too excited. We talked about Meo being a guy who's always trying to just force his units in, find attack angles, has very little restraint. Ranger is the Protoss who plays the exact same sort of way. We talk about he plays like a Terran, he just attacks and attacks and attacks. Playing against Ranger is very, very weird for most Zerg players. For Meo, though, it's his comfort zone. He loves it. He's like, oh, you're coming to me? Wow, this is amazing. Normally I have to go to the Protoss base to kill your stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Meo said he wanted Ranger. He was really excited for Ranger in his interview. I remember he was just smiles and going, go Power Ranger. Even said the Twitch chat cheer there. A true Malaysian StarCraft fan in MeomaikA. But it might be an ulterior motive, Pig. It might be because he just loves this kind of Protoss, loves this kind of style. Maybe eats them for breakfast a little bit, even though he lost map 1.
When you're 15-0 to someone, it's you know, you're like, surely they would have cheesed me out in one series, like something would have caught me off guard. But nope. And now that they've been practicing a lot together recently, what I'm very curious about is why haven't we seen Hydras, Maynard?
Yeah.
And you know what? I think Ranger's been punishing. Remember, he kept doing Hydras, and I was like, surely you can punish this with the charge lot all in, glaive adept all in, really sharp glaive timing. I think Ranger's done all of that to Meo in practice and on the ladder, and that's why Meo's like, I'm actually going to make a Roach Warren at a respectable timing against you because you've clearly punished me in the past.
Yeah, so I'm playing the player, not the game, but the game has finished counting down, and we are ready for the next ZVP, or you know, PV Meo. It's always feels like a different matchup when this guy in the bottom left is involved in it. Represented by the Juggernauts, represented by Vietnam. This is MeomaikA.
One of the only professional players to do an extractor trick with his standard opening. It's an overlord into an extractor, builds one more drone, cancels it, and 15 out of 14 supply.
There it is.
His opponent in the top right side. Let's see what he can do to rally in this series. I think he just did some magic to get back in that last game. Unfortunately, it slipped away with a bit of over-aggression. He'll have to rein it in. M8 Hexes, Ranger.
All right. On 2,000 Atmospheres here, a map that we all know and love and have seen it for a long, long, long time.
There's
So,
fish.
there's
There's
fish.
pink fish on it, Maynard.
Stuff floats up when it dies because it's underwater, pig.
Unfortunately, if I was swimming at the beach near here, I mean, I'm someone, if there's a bit of seaweed and like stuff, I'm like, it's a little gross.
Oh, man.
But if there's giant Zerg tentacles throbbing under the water, I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm not going to go for a swim there.
Now, back when we had Abyssal Reef in the map pool, I remember, just watching all these ZVZs and TVZs and stuff like that, and I just thought, imagine like flying in like a biplane or something like that over this area of the ocean, and just smelling outside what it's like. There's all those floating Zerg corpses and Terrans.
To be fair,
there'd
just be like seabirds and fish and everything. They'd all just be feasting, the whole cycle, the circle of life.
Yeah.
Some shark frenzy, when sharks go into a feeding frenzy.
Yep, true. Yeah, and Abyssal Reef is a reef, so there's probably sharks just breeding next door.
Exactly. Speaking of sharks, MeomaikA likes to shark around the map. Ranger pinned him back after defending his third in that last game. And he was adding all of those tech pieces. So if we think about map 1, we see there is a way to solve MeomaikA, right? What was in the army, right? So obviously Ranger likes Stalkers because they're flexible, but Zealots early to deal with the Zerglings, unless he already has Archons, in which case he can skip them. He then wants Disruptors to deal with the Roaches and the Hydras. He then wants to add Colossus to deal with the Zerglings from range, have range firepower. Archons to beef the army out, maybe an Immortal, a few Immortals in there, depending. And then he likes to flesh it out with lots of Stalkers and a pretty late Blink as a way of sort of adding that flexibility and general use to the army.
Meo really knows his opponent. Or just the matchup, I should say.
Oh my god. Oh, going out with that Adept so dangerous, but comes back very quickly. Good reaction.
Yep, she had that Shade ready to come back and moves quite fast with that Shade, obviously. 2 probes have gone down, and Meo doubles up with the probe damage with a Scout as well.
No tech.
Yep, just 2 gateways.
So I think Ranger was probably going to drop a delayed something, and then...
There's no pylon in his main at all. Oh, there it is. Excuse me, at the top side.
Oh, that's a very late Stargate, Maynard. I think if a Stargate's later than 245, it's not worth putting down in this matchup. Because any Oracle will be so late that it's not going to work. Now, Meo thinks there's a proxy Stargate, because he's building Spores at 3 minutes 15.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very early Spores.
Wow. Actually, no, that's just what Meo does. Now I remember. He always builds his Spores way earlier than they could possibly be needed. It's just a weird Meo thing that he does. Yep.
Cool.
So he doesn't think it's a proxy Stargate. He's just building Spores because obviously game 1's in his head. So he wants to be safe. But I don't think you want to go lots of Oracles. Maybe like 1 Oracle, 1 Void Ray or something. But defending the third base may be a conundrum. It's MeomaikA. Zergling's already on the map. 2 Adepts nestled in a good spot. Shield Battery in the natural, perfectly timed.
A couple ranged units here for Ranger. Doesn't want to pull those Adepts away from the third base. They want to stay nestled in their groove here. Well, he leaves that third exposed with its low hit points.
Bad battery placement. Remember, T-Ball learned that lesson the hard way.
That's right. Meo
He
will
walks
die
in
for
a
that
few
shield
more
battery.
gateway units, and if he can plug the right side of the shield battery and the side in between the Nexus, so he has 4 Adepts there, or 2 Adepts, 2 Zealots, it'll be okay. But right now he's trying to play Twilight, so I think he's trying to play Blink.
I reckon we might see a Hydra end this game.
I think you might be right, Maynard. Oh, Zealots are warping in. Battery will come up. Only 1 Adept goes down, so that was good hold so far. He builds 1 Void Ray. It's a very expensive unit for Ranger to be building right now, especially versus a Hydra Den. I don't think that Void Ray is what you really want right here.
Yeah, I think unless you have a meme amount of them, it really feels like these air units are a bit of a liability. Obviously, they still have the scouting potential. They can harass. They can drop Revelations, just like this Oracle's doing right now. Gets a good scout off. It doesn't see the Hydra Den, though, because that's in the natural. But does have a good look. Does know MeomaikA quite well. And Meo, very similar to the game he played against T-Ball. I think his plan here is to just kill that shield battery as many times as he can, put pressure on as much as he can, slow down his opponent's economy, slow down the probing, and then show up with really early muscular augments, upgraded Hydras, and just try and bust.
Big mistakes for Ranger, losing 5 rallying probes and 2 Zealots now. This is a huge mistake, and he's rallying probes from his third to his natural and his natural to his third. Ranger is in disarray right now after a confident start to this series. Now, he at least knows about the Hydra Den, and he is going mass Zealot to counter it, but this is a one-dimensional situation. What I mean by that is Zealots are a melee unit. You need to have as many as they have Hydras or close to that number, and you just need to overwhelm. There's no fancy micro you can do there. They're not going to help you that much, right? They'll help versus the Hydras because you have to go to them. So the thing is, I think the Hydra Ling timing is just going to be fast enough that he's only going to have a handful of Zealots up. Maybe just barely. Ranger can buy himself some time. It's going to be so hard.
Ah, certainly. The units are getting amassed now from Meo, and I like that he's dropping a Roach Warren behind this. Now, this kind of attack from MeomaikA is, you know, yeah, he's got 4 hatcheries, but he's not got many drones. It's really all about the units right now, and it's all about just trying to go for the kill. He can macro out of it, but only if he does a lot of damage to his opponent.
Oh man, there's only like 4 Zealots here. And look, he just goes straight for the battery.
God, yeah.
Dude, that's it. That's it. He takes the battery out. The Hydras are in here. There is not enough Zealots. Is not quite finished. A beautiful timing here for Meo. The Void Ray comes in. Oracle. Ooh, Oracle does get a Hydra. Oh, charge is finished. Charge is finished, and a lot of the Zerglings have gone down. Ranger maybe still has a shot at this.
The Lings rotate to the front of the pack here to keep those Zealots away from the Hydralisks. Void Ray assisting a little bit, but these are all light units. Takes a while for the Void to get rid of them. The Hydras are getting thinned out by the charge lots. Ranger, even without the shield battery, keeping the Zerg off his front door.
Dude, I mean, it's all about the numbers. Problem is there's a Roach transition underway, and he's still only on Zealot tech. The Hydras are going to be able to trade quite well. The Prism will go down. Oh, man. And just this little pack of Hydras is such a problem for Ranger to deal with. Up on economy. He's trying to build an Immortal right now. I think he knows the Roach transition will be coming because, of course, it is Meo's go-to from here to add Roaches, but it is such a small Protoss force and so much gathering up outside.
Yeah, indeed. It's going to have Roaches in it this time. And have that lovely front line that's going to help him out with those Zealots, take them down even faster.
Zergling's looking for a poke, see if they can grab a battery, but gotta be careful. There's too many of those. Zealot run-by is going to go in for Ranger here. Very cute move. Go for some drones. Lower that worker count of Meo.
Yeah, Meo is very focused on the attack right now. That's a big 1A in it.
Yeah, the Zealots only get 1 drone, 1 Roach. So not too bad. For Meo, could have been worse. Templar Archives is up. Do we go Storm as Ranger, or is it just for Archons? He's going to try and take a 4th base.
Well, that's
wow.
crazy, dude. The Changeling also saw the Pro Commanders got zapped.
1-1 upgrades, range upgrades on the way for Meo. No melee this time against the Zealot style. He doesn't want to go for the Zerglings. He's saying full Roach Hydra.
I think Meo also misrallied his hatchery again over to the 3rd Nexus, where he like has a bunch of Overlords out the map, because I just saw a bunch of, those all flying back. And whoopsie daisies.
Fix it up.
He fixes it.
Zerglings go in. They will pull back. The Zealots and the Probes defending for now, but that's a lot of Roach Hydra. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Battery gets overcharged, and Meo will pull back, but that Void Ray cannot overwhelm those Hydras. Zealots running in, but this is such a great fight for Meo. He just shoots and moves, shoots and moves.
I'm surprised those Lings went home and didn't just attack the 4th base.
Yeah, they could have canceled it. I think they still will get the cancel, but he might just bring them into the fight here. Force fields buy some time. The Immortals making some work happen. Zerglings could run into the base. Oh, missed opportunity for Meo.
He's got a free 4th Nexus if he wanted it. Maybe he just wants it to finish.
Yeah, he's like, let you invest in it, mate. No worries. It's still so dicey. Storm is finished, but there's only like 1. Oh, juicy.
Not bad. Yeah, good Storm there on the center of the pack. Takes everything down to yellow hit points. There's still a lot of Zerg alive, though, and that's a problem for Ranger, because a lot of its range units, as those Zerglings basically tank all the damage. They are the wall here, the meat shield for these Roaches and Hydras, doing that backline damage. MeomaikA taking an incredible fight here at the 3rd base, and I think it might be convincing enough to get the dub here.
Oh, he's focusing down the Immortals just like that. Beautiful play. And Meo is going to be able to overwhelm. Remember, there was good momentum from earlier on. Zerglings at the start. 4 Zerglings waited for the Adept to leave. They ran in, they did some damage. And let GG, Gigi. Yeah, it's going to be going to 12 seconds in the chat, Maynard.
Good game, Ranger. Unfortunate for him, but yeah, MeomaikA now up 80-odd supply. Most of it in army. Not really a situation that Ranger can come back from here. Not even any of the comeback units. No DTs, no disruptors. It is just a wall of Zerg. Too much Zerg on the dance floor.
Range there. Twist to the head there. He was kind of going, that one hurts, man. He realizes that this is not where he wants this series to go, and yet Meo just got that momentum and that lead. He was up in workers way too early in this game. I was surprised by how well Ranger survived, but it's kind of inevitable. When Meo gets that far ahead that early, he is going to swarm you.
Yeah, you are not wrong. Man, he really puts the swarm into that Zerg swarm, doesn't he, that MeomaikA? Plays the race his own flavor, but certainly, you know, plays Zerg to its strengths, which is the ability to mass a lot of units very, very quickly when you need to. And you can see just he has all those timings in his brain. He knows when a Protoss wants to move out with their Adept for a scout. He gets those Lings in every time. He knows that third base timing. He knows how Protosses like to put their shield batteries in the mineral line, and he knows he's got an answer to a lot of what Protosses like to do in this matchup. And Ranger, to call it back, he did start this game a little weirdly. You know, a little bit of a late Stargate. And a little bit of a weird follow-up there with the third base the Nexus getting dropped down as well. The harassment really kind of underwhelming for Ranger, and that's the kind of thing that if you want to slow MeomaikA down, you need to start early. You know, you gotta get early bird gets the worm with that kid.
Yeah, it's such a small thing, but those 4 Zerglings just ruined Malaysia, ruined Ranger's whole plan, the Malaysian hero Ranger's whole plan. I mean, dude, 4 Zerglings coming in, it seems so insignificant, but they almost killed the pylon. Pulls the Adept back, which means his Adept isn't pressuring. He doesn't put the tech down because he doesn't want the Zerglings to see it. And then he's just like, oh, I guess we still build a Stargate here. It's way too late in that scenario to go for the Stargate. And it's awkward though, because what do? You just go straight charge and just take a third with Zealots? I mean, yeah, I actually think the best play there for him, as silly as it sounds, is to drop a third gateway, start making Zealots continually, and just take a third and go into your charge and just play 3-base charge and add your tech from there. You're going to be completely blind. It's going to suck. But I kind of feel like the Stargate coming out that late, and especially Void Ray into Hydra, that was a big wasted investment that did not pay off.
Indeed. Well, that is game 3, and we're going to game 4, but we're going to do it after the break, guys. We'll see you there for MeomaikA Ranger game 4. Don't go away. G'day, StarCraft fans, and welcome back to the main event here for Oceanic Rest of Asia. I am Maynard. With me is Pig, and we are casting MeomaikA Ranger with MeomaikA on match point as we head into game 4 here. Ranger looking to try and tie the score, though, and take it to the ace match.
Sorry, I am excited to see where this series goes.
I can tell you're very excited.
I am so excited that I'm having to press that mic button because I'm just sitting here wiggling back and forwards. I'm the wiggliest of pigglies right now because MeomaikA, he's turned it around and he's kind of just like, I'm doing my thing that I do. I've got lings, they're attacking you. Now there's some hydras, now there's some roaches. I'm droning a little bit, but I'm attacking and I'm droning and I'm attacking and I'm droning, then I'm droning, then I'm attacking. Ranger needs a good start. That last game, it was just 4 Zerglings. You cannot leave your wall off against a player who opens pool first like that unless you know exactly what's going on. So that was a very tricky opening for Meo. Ranger got punished for just a little bit of greed, and now he has no chances left.
Except now, as he gets the free win there. Going to game 5. All right, excellent esports.
Did Meo pick the wrong race, maybe?
I think so. Was that the right map as well? Wasn't part of Altaris the decider?
Oh, maybe it was the wrong map. Yeah. Oh no, that was Hardwire.
Oh, it was okay. Sorry, I thought I saw the tile set wrong there.
I think I saw Hardwire, but anyway,
okay.
Often that happens, right? Where your race is Terran when you load into the map, you forget to change it, no one notices, and there we go. So we get extra time here because they just want to bait us. Of course, picking the wrong race and that sort of stuff. It is, of course, going to be though Zerg versus Protoss. We've seen Archon drop. We've seen Oracle opening do pretty well when it got off crisply against an unprepared Meo. Do we just see more Oracle Adept Maynard? I obviously have no idea what would work. It's purely just rolling a dice. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard because he goes pull first as well. I'm thinking, like, what if you get real spicy? Like, what if you really bring on that pepper and go for like a Papa 4 gate or like the flower or something like that. Like, just get in his face really early and do something that he's absolutely never going to expect in 1,000 years. But he is.
I do wonder if you could get him with like Nexus first into like just like an 8 gate where you just like you proxy a gateway up in his 4th base or something like that. I mean, it's obviously insane gamble, but maybe.
I think you can go Nexus first against Meo. I think that's something you could probably do. And obviously, there's going to be a lot of Protosses out there that can play, you know, a couple Oracles, a couple Adepts, like the Ho-Hum, everyone's PVZ build. That can, you know, make it work because it's not just about your build, it's what you do with it. It's not just, you know, the choices, it's execution. Ranger, as much as we love him, isn't the greatest Protoss on the whole planet, and MeomaikA, not the greatest Zerg on the whole planet, but certainly has a unique style of play. I saw someone very aptly put that this is not Serral and Showtime. You know, Serral and Showtime is normal. This is wild CVP. Like, this isn't even CVP. It's MeomaikA versus Ranger. It's a different matchup entirely. It's throw out a lot of what you expect and a lot of what you know in StarCraft 2 and just grab your bag of popcorn, put your feet up, and enjoy the ride.
That's right. When you watch these two play, you know you've gone far down on the riverboat, down towards the heart of darkness. You've gone into the deep, dark forests. Savagery awaits. You are far from the heart of civilization and clean macro builds. You are there where weird intuition and just strange barbarism reigns supreme. Honestly, I think Meo is one of the scariest people in the world to play against. I think he is impossible to solve in a clean, strategic way compared to anybody else, because no matter what you do against him, whatever it is, it still involves you at all times monitoring your probe rally, because lings will come in and kill a probe and another probe and another probe. Making sure your zealots are pixel perfect in your wall or in your 3rd base in the mineral line, or he will come in and pick them off. And this is the sort of stuff that adds up and makes it feel like you can get 9 things right against Meo, and then the 10th one isn't there, and that is where the slippery slope begins. And he's just in with Zerglings, and then he's in somewhere else with Zerglings, and then there's Hydras in your base, and it's just all over. I
mean, that feels like such a StarCraft thing, though, right? Like when people are really high level and they just make that one mistake. Keep in mind that when you're high level and you're playing in a tournament, your opponent is also, you know, high level because they play the same tournament you are, and they're in the playoff brackets, which means they're really high level, and it just snowballs. And it's so hard to, like, you know, start slipping, and you know sometimes when you fall over and you try and catch your balance and you're like, oh, I'm gonna fall, and you know you're gonna fall, but you delay it as hard as you can by hopping and skipping and looking really awkward and falling forward and moving your arms around. In StarCraft, it's really hard to get back to stability when that happens. It is so hard because your opponent is so high level, they're snowballing, and you're just trying to stop, and you can't. You just You just got to let it happen, unfortunately. Let the knife slip in between your ribs and let MeomaikA just take that map away from you.
Good night, sweet prince.
That's right. Shh, don't fight it. It's so gentle.
Well, you know what, matey? We've got up here at the top right-hand side a man who had a very terrible game one, dying to oracles. But guess what? He's won the next 2 in a row. He just needs one more to make the comeback happen. He is, of course, the Juggernaut's MeomaikA.
That quote of the knife between the ribs coming from that Hannibal movie that I'm forgetting the name of. Red Dragon. There it is.
Never watched that.
It's very good, actually. Anthony Hopkins is Hannibal. It's very, very good.
He's great. I loved Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, yeah, it's very, very good. In the bottom left here, though, from M8 in the red. Currently down the series, looking to tie it up. This is Ranger.
Well, Meo's just got to finish pushing Ranger into the back of this van, and he will be done with this series and moving on to that next match, the upper finals.
He'll get Ranger to put the lotion on his skin, or else he will get the hose again.
In this case, will it be the Hydra hose or the Roach hose? Did manage to sneak those Hydras out in that last game, and maybe now Meo's feeling a bit more comfortable, and he just goes back to the Ling Hydra stuff because he's like, wow, you're not going to gamble on Zealot or Adept, you know, big timing attack to punish me. So we might see an even more unencumbered Meo, who's just playing more smooth, clean, comfortable StarCraft.
That's right. And it feels so good to be to have the game that puts you on match point be the one where you had a plan that completely paid off as well. Like Meo's feeling confident right now. On
dude, it does not feel
streaking.
Right watching Meo go hatch first though. It just
that
makes
was
me
strange.
a little uncomfortable.
I was going to mention it, but I think we were talking about movies.
It's still a very late hatchery though. It's
Yep.
like, so the queens are disjointed and stuff, and he also goes 19 Overlord, so he's got tons of extra supply free early because of that. So this is like this is maybe beta Legacy of the Void hatch first build. It's doesn't have all the little fine-tuned details that most players have these days. Then again, you could say the same of most of Dark's openings as well, and he is one of the very best Zergs in the world. So everyone has their own different flavors, different strokes for different blokes.
That's right. And it looks like Ranger's going to be stroking into a Stargate opener here. It's the Adept into Stalker just to push back the Overlord, deny whatever he can while going into Stargate. Stargate tucked away in the main base for things.
Oh, and Meo turns his Overlord around. So does he see the Stargate? I think the Overlord was close enough, but for now we watch the Adept and see what happens. Okay, so he sees the Stargate and he pulls it back. So he wants to keep his Overlords alive in case Void Ray comes out.
The Adept getting some information here. Also looking for
Spore
drone
tricks.
kills.
Spore tricks. Nice spore trick. Very good from Meo.
Well done.
Doesn't build a single Zergling this game, man. And he's gotten away with it. If Ranger had chronoed 2 Adepts across this map, then he potentially could have lost 6, 7, 8 workers. This is the sort of thing that Meo does. He's like, nah, 2 queens, that's all. It's fine. And he gets away with it. Not only that, by the way, his Spore Crawlers once again are finishing before the Oracle finishes building. So they're over 20 seconds early. This is such a... I've never... Like, literally, I feel like one game Meo got hit by a proxy Stargate that was right next to his natural or main base. And ever since then, he's always built his spores so fast. It's such a bizarre thing, but it's funny because he either gets the earliest, safest spores or he just skips them entirely. This game, very safe. He'll be very happy that he did that.
Big group of links coming out now for Meo. He's getting his fighting units finally, and also making another couple queens.
Ooh, good spore trick, bud.
No. Okay, just one shot there on that Oracle. It does escape.
Could have been 4 drones. Meo with some great micro. And I think he's happy to lose 3 drones to put that Oracle deep in the red. Second one on the way, and it's straight into Robo. I would love to see Robo Bay and just go straight into, like, Colossus. Maybe third base first. But definitely it would be really nice. If you just build Immortals, because there's Hydras on the way, Maynard, you're going to be in big trouble.
Yeah,
Trying
like
to secure
Immortal,
a third is so hard.
Immortal is not a good unit against Ling Hydra.
It tanks. It doesn't do much else.
Yeah, it's got a lot of hit points. Heart and Shield, obviously, as well. Like, those are fantastic. But really, you know, you want your Force Fields, you want your Zealots, Archons.
Only 40%
fantastic.
of its potential damage, right? Because it does 2.5 times versus armored units like Roaches, but the Roach is the only armored unit in the early Zerg arsenal. If it's not being built, it's going to be tough. Now, Ranger does have 4 gateways, a Robo, a second Immortal, 2 Oracles, and now goes for the delayed third base. I always feel like this sort of opening, it's going to be hard to defend that third, but it is possible with enough unit production. He needs Zealots, though, and he needs a good number of Zealots to deal with the Zerglings. Otherwise, they're just going to surround Stalkers and Sentries and this sort of stuff.
Oh, that's a lot of Lings, Pig. And that Sentry is already dead as it fires off its last force field.
Okay, good positioning from
Ranger. Still get the Nexus, though, I think, if he wanted it. No, he's going to go for the kill on these units. Well, I don't know, Meo.
Okay, yeah, I think this can work out okay for Meo. There is an Immortal coming over here as for Ranger, sorry, I mean. I think that's okay for Rangers so far. It's a fair number of Zerglings. I always want to see units lost after trades like that because Zerglings, it's really hard to tell like how much value actually died there. And you can see, yeah, okay, good positive trade there for Meo. As kills a bit more. That didn't even show the pylon.
No. Oh, the Oracles.
Oracles! They can save that. Oh
my God,
he's just a bit slow.
so brutal.
He could have turned those lasers on a second earlier, but you know what, man? The Colossus is not here yet. It's just started. Hydra's are here. Ranger has to give up his third.
Yeah, third's dead for sure. He might be able to hold on 2 bases. It might not be over for Ranger, but it does look very dicey over here at the third base. That is absolutely going down if Meo wants it to go down. I think the best case scenario here for Ranger is that Meo forgets the third, gets baited into trying to go for the win, smells blood in the water, and then the Colossus comes in and pushes everything back. But Meo's trade's pretty good at the beginning of this fight.
Yeah, I think honestly, Meo is so good at reading his opponent. He's so safe against early aggression early in the series, and then he got more and more loose as it went on, more and more aggressive, and in the best way possible. He realized that Ranger was going back towards really standard play, and that's when he starts to dial up that classic Meo Ling Hydra aggression. Very well played by Meo.
Oh my God.
And that is huge.
Spire? Never seen Meo make a Spire ever.
I mean, Mutalisk switch potential, of course. I mean, he doesn't need to go there.
He could just make like 8 Corruptors or something like that, or 6 Corruptors, and just be completely fine. He has the entire map. Ranger is not going to be able to take a third if Meo doesn't want it to happen.
Fourth base is on the way. This is the scary thing, man. If Meo gets one good trade, he can safely drone up the third, the fourth. He likes to do this low economy so he has more army. Your whole job is to deny him good trades and good fights and really just be like, no, we're not fighting unless it's really good for me. The moment he gets that momentum, he runs away with it so darned quickly, and it's a very tough position to be in as Ranger right now, but those Zerglings going to come in, canceling that third one more time easily.
Yes, this Sword's going to catch a good cluster of Lings, but again, like that's a cancel for sure. Meo doesn't care about losing Lings. He's got a massive income advantage in minerals over Ranger. He's got 4 bases saturated on those mineral lines, and he is just throwing units, throwing minerals at the problem, and it's doing what he needs. Like, is it efficient? Not incredibly, but it doesn't matter because he's just outmining his opponent by a large margin.
You know, I'm a little upset. It's kind of like when I saw Maru crush Serral with Mech and Ghosts, and then he never did it again and lost the last 8 games he played against Serral, not doing that style. And I was like, can we see that again? Because I don't know if Serral had an answer, man. Yeah. This is kind of the same. Ranger did a very different style game 1 to the other games. Remember, he went lots of Zealots, Disruptors, and then added like Colossus and Stalkers and stuff on top of that. This game, Sentries, Adepts, Immortal, like it was all these things that Zerglings just kind of smash, right? They would have been really good later once the Colossus were out, but I kind of think that the unupgraded Zealot is actually the way to go, and I think he should have stuck with it. It was working so well in game 1. Yes, it was from a good position, but I think you just need to have an abundance of Zealots. Otherwise, that third base will go down. Meo is very predictable. Keep this in mind. Yeah, he's incredibly predictable.
He's played this exact style like 6 times this own tournament.
Corruptor's going to dive. There's nothing that shoots up, man. Oh, a couple Sentries can't do nothing.
Sentry
This
tickles.
is so bad for Ranger. He's just going to get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Corruptors take out 1 Colossus. I don't think he even lost a single Corruptor. The Phoenix are kind of tickling them, but the Corruptors do not care. Meo up on 170 supply, a massive advantage.
And Ranger's bringing everything back home, but unfortunately, even with everything on the front door, Meo's done what he needs to do to put Ranger into an untenable situation. Meo up 20 workers, up nearly double the army supply here at 100. It's just getting from bad to worse here for our Malaysian Protoss, unfortunately for Ranger.
Here we go, Hydraling Corruptor coming on in. The Corruptors thinking about going for Wee Wee on the Nexus, but they are going to go for the Corruptors first of all.
Yeah, Colossus first. Get to Wee Wee on things later. Corruptors need to do their job.
Yep. Got to get your job done before you do get into that kind of, assaulting of their infrastructure. The Lings and Hydra still rallying in. The one man that keeps massing Ling Hydra versus Colossus. He is a madman. He is, of course, the mad genius. And he's going to continue that 15-0 streak here. The Disruptors come out. Ooh, that was a juicy boom.
Juicy boom indeed. Ranger giving himself a little bit more time in this game. And Mio is keeping his foot on the gas pedal here. This is still quite a lot of damage that Mio is more than happy to dish out, and Ranger not so happy to lose.
Yeah, I mean, Ranger right now is fighting this off with the last few drops of water that he has. Mio has
Oh, that rally, man, come on.
Oh, speaking of a full bladder, Maynard.
I think he might be able to save it.
Yep.
Yep.
Nice D.
And the the Overlords, man, come on, Mio.
And the meter switch coming. The Overlord rally is my favorite, dude. He doesn't, I don't think he control groups eggs ever. So I think he always just rallies to places and kind of grabs units. Mio is one of these players who uses very odd mechanics, kind of has his own weird techniques. So definitely interesting to watch how he organizes things. Mass Muta swap coming out. He's also got range upgrades, melee upgrades on the ground. Ranger, it's a handful of Stalkers. He's making an Archon, and he's trying to hang on, but there's no way he can match the mobility of the Mutas with just a handful of Stalkers.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Mio he's taking a breather here, and as the game continues, you know, Ranger is trying to do what he can to come back, but this is the kill move. There is double Stargate, but Phoenix production was over ages ago, and like I said, this is the kill move. He sees the mutas, types the GG, collects himself, and unfortunately Ranger has to tap out.